And there we go. Just the two of us. Morning, Dan.
Morning, Mike. Like I haven't seen you in the other side of the office already, but yeah, good morning.
They don't. The audience doesn't know that, Dan. It's the magic of live streaming.
This is the magic of television happening here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not stampeding this morning? No parades?
We are. Yeah, we're both missing the parade, unfortunately. Maybe thankfully. I don't know.
Yeah, I went last year. It was actually a lot of fun with the kids. They just love seeing the horses. Actually, that was the most fun that they seemed to have. But
yeah,
no, we decided to give it a pass this year. Just couldn't get ourselves organized. So
yeah, I avoided it. I had to drive around it all today a couple times, but
yeah,
it's always fun, I guess, when you go. But it's a bit of an experience. Taxing one can be.
And you, I think, are skipping Stampede altogether this year.
Yes. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, coming back at the end of Stampede.
Where are you guys headed?
It's a quick trip to lovely Saskatchewan.
Lake country.
Lake country, yeah. The other kind of lake country.
Cottage country. Well, that should be nice, I think, for you guys. It should be a good trip. You're headed out there with Asia, our sister, who's been a guest on the live stream once before.
That's right. Yeah. So quick. Well, not a quick drive. It's an 8-hour drive, which that's the only thing I'm not looking forward to. It's gonna be a bit of a slog, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Well,
let's get into this.
Well, I was gonna say I was gonna take a quick stab first. I hope both my siblings enjoy their vacation on the lakes. I'll be here working. You guys, you have a good time.
We're grateful. You're working. Okay, let's do a quick one today. It is Stampede. I think people have a lot of things going on, so I'm going to share a screen here real quick, and this is the stats like we tend to do. I'm going to share, instead of the daily stats, this is the monthly update for the month of I guess end of June from the Calgary Real Estate Board. Sales are down. New listings are down. Inventory's up. So this is a bit of, like an inventory. The number of homes available for sale was up close to 10% at the end of June. So that is a story that we kind of were talking about mid-month in June. And, this number, this 1.38, it's been a long time since that number has been over 1. That's the months of supply. So
I think I remember inventory being as low as 2,500.
Yeah.
Or less, maybe less than 2,000 at one point in time.
Yeah.
Like staggeringly low number of homes for a city our size.
Yes.
To have less than 2,000 homes, condos, rural properties, infills, everything that you could possibly buy. So, I mean, if you're, to use your own words, telling a story, if anyone was wondering why the buying market was such a pain and so challenging, that really was it. There's nothing to pick from. And not that nearly 4,000 homes is enough either, but it does seem to be getting back to a place where it's not quite what I would call equilibrium, but it feels more balanced and less hectic and less frantic on the buying side. Yeah.
An interesting stat here that you kind of see through the bulk of the screen. I'm not sure how to explain this. If I can get that. So the total residential price, this is the benchmark price, has gone up 8.5% year over year, while all sectors have gone up between 12 and 17%. I need to do some more investigation to understand that better. I don't quite know how that shakes out, but in any case, pricing's still up year over year. I guess that's the bottom line there.
Despite some counterintuitive there that every single sector is up more than 8.5%, but
yeah,
that the benchmark price is only up.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to do a bit of digging on that, but the with interest rates that have gone up quite a bit and just come down a little bit, it's interesting. The prices continue to rise. we haven't seen really a slowing down of that. I was thinking they might slow down towards the end of the year, but that will, who knows? With the interest rates, they're projecting another couple of drops this year. That might just force the trend to continue in some ways. So,
yeah, and I guess that could segue into our next point, which was talking a bit about condos, which was one of the sectors that saw this, I think, probably the greatest gains in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah.
In terms of a sector of the market. We're thinking about we were discussing things we could talk about here on the live stream. And I think one thing that we both find is that it can be hard to come up with topics until we just look at the deals we've done in the last couple of weeks and where we've had challenges and what's been difficult. And we can usually find something in there to pull out to talk about. And in this case, it was condominiums, and specifically condominium documents and the governance around a condo board and how that can play into a sale. And as a seller, what you need to provide, and as a buyer, what you're looking for. If you're coming in to look at it, you're purchasing a condo and you have a condo doc review condition on there, what sort of things you're looking at. So I don't know, Dan, maybe I'll speak to it as a seller on the selling side, but if you were a buyer looking at a condo, what sort of things are you looking for when you're doing a condo doc review?
I think in the condo doc review, people can get caught up in the, maybe the minutia, right? Like if we're looking for condo board meeting minutes, and we want to see them every month, meetings every month, what's going on, what's happening, what happened with that leak, and all that kind of stuff. And I guess there is some there's some value in that, but overall, I think what you're looking for is a board that is attentive to the concerns and of the owners. You're looking for a board or a manager that is looking after the building, and I think you're just trying to bring everything you see back into that sort of frame of reference. Is the board proactive in protecting the asset that it is charged with? And so I think that you can look at it from a couple of different ways as a buyer. There are small boards, small buildings that might not have a lot of documents available, and there are big boards, big buildings with hundreds of units that might have too much information available that you're just swimming in it. So,
yeah, I agree. I think if I'm ever on the buying side, having all of the documents is obviously it's nice to have. But if you can go through the documents that are available, you get the overall sense, sort of a feeling that the president of the board is, as you say, being attentive, and that the other directors are present and active, and that generally there's a sense of care about the building, that can go a long ways. Mm-hmm. And while you said that you get hung up in the minutia, it really is in digging through the minutes and the conversations that the board and that the board's having at those meetings. That's really, I think, where you get the sense of the board here cares, they're on top of it. And while there may only be 3 meetings a year, that's all you need. And at those meetings, things are getting dealt with. So,
yeah. With board meetings nowadays, I know that a lot of stuff gets dealt with outside of board meetings. It's just there's an email string of something needs to happen, and it gets dealt with, and there's not a formal vote, perhaps, or which some might say that's not great governance. But these boards, a lot of them are operational boards, and they don't dictate things to a manager that then takes it out for tender and all this kind of stuff. There might be a board member that goes out and picks up a piece of flashing to fix a water leak or something like that.
But yeah, I think it's also worth noting that in many cases, in almost all cases, the members of the board aren't professional board members. They are residents of the building, and you are, you're an accountant, or you are a framer, like a carpenter, or you work at Jiffy Lube, but everyone has another job typically, and they're doing this as a service to the condominium and the balance of the owners that live and own in the building. So while you would love to see things run really efficiently and really by the book, it's often not a realistic expectation.
Yeah, they're volunteer positions. I don't think I've ever seen a condo board position that was paid as a condo board director. There are staff positions that can be paid if there's an on-site caretaker or something, but
yeah, and there's obviously, if there's a property manager, that is typically paid, and that person is there to move things along, maybe get tenders, take minutes, do all those things, and make sure that the board's on track. But for a building that's self-managed, then yeah, none of that exists, and it's all just, often flying by the seat of your pants and doing the best you can. So,
yeah.
When it comes to the selling side, certainly, if you list your property and then get an offer, somebody is going to want to see the condominium documents. So it is in your best interest to make sure that there are all of the documents that are available, you have ready and are able to produce. Specifically in the case of the condo we were talking about, one of the things that was outstanding was that they hadn't had an AGM for a couple of years. And if my memory serves, the bylaws dictate that it has to be every 15 months. So, the absence of a general meeting, a board meeting, isn't that big a deal. But if you haven't had an AGM for a few years, that is a bit more of an issue, and you're stepping outside the bylaws. So, one of the things that we did was we kind of got onto the board and said, listen, you guys need to have an AGM like right away, so we can at least close that gap and show that while you may have been doing all this stuff in the background and things are getting dealt with, you're still sticking to the bylaws, making sure that there aren't those big gaps in the meetings or the minutes. So that was one thing we dealt with on one of these condos. There's a possible special assessment too. So we went over and over and strategized how we might deal with that. Still haven't quite got that nailed down, but we're hoping to get there soon. One of the ways that we consider is obviously you adjust for the price, you adjust for the amount of the assessment and the price, or you put it aside. But I'm coming to find that maybe the banks won't love that, because that's another holdback, which banks don't seem to like holdbacks for anything, even if it's a special assessment. And the other complication is that this proposed work hasn't actually yet been levied. So it's being talked about, but it's not a real cost yet because it's not been assessed to the owners.
Yeah.
That's an important distinction, is that you can talk about it all you want, but until the board passes a resolution to assess that levy, the numbers don't mean as much, because they're not real numbers yet. So yeah, that can be challenging when there's mention of special assessments or work to be done in board minutes that aren't properly funded. So it does make a sale challenging. Yeah,
for sure.
So, but we're boning up on all that. Not that we don't know it and know how to deal with it, but it's when there are some gaps like that, it's a good refresher to go through and remind yourself about all of the things that you need and how you have to have, just like any property, how you have to present the property for sale. It takes, even with a condo, when you're not on the physical side of it, actually in the property, there is still some staging that's required to make sure that the property is ready for sale. So,
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Staging, making sure that all your ducks are in a row.
Yeah.
Very good.
But with that, actually, I have to get back to dealing with that particular condo and
Back to work. Yeah.
get back to work and also do whatever. I've got some volunteering to do later with one of the Stampede committees. So time's a bit short, and I know, Dan, you're getting packed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all my work out of the way before I have to hit the road. So
let's put a ball on it and say happy Stampede, everybody.
Happy Stampede, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Have fun, stay safe, and yeah, we'll see you in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.